alert forecast starts off colder, patchy frost, but keep in mind we're in that time of year that frost can continue to develop. We'll have these cold snaps at times. In fact, the average last frost for Knoxville is not until mid-April, and again, average last frost for our higher elevations not until May. So we're in that time of year. We're trying to transition out of those cold snaps. On this Thursday, we're just having to start out dealing with that, feeling it, getting that big warm coat on first thing this morning, especially for the kids standing outside. You may not want to lug around a coat later today, but outdoors for even a few minutes, you're going to want that this morning with that average low of 36 degrees. And your sunrise, 7:29. We have just a couple of clouds that'll pass by at times this morning. Notice these little specks of rain try to reach out and kind of graze the plateau. Morning and evening are a better shot to see a couple of raindrops fall from these clouds. That's because as the temperature warms, it moves away from the dew point. So think of your dew point, that's the temperature the air is saturated. So we're far enough away from that everything's pretty dry. All right, so that does limit us in even pulling a couple of raindrops out. Mornings and evenings, your temperature is coming down, so it's naturally closer to that dew point. You can see a couple of sprinkles try to come along southeastern Kentucky this evening into the early overnight for that same reason. That means in between, burning still discouraged, even though the winds aren't as strong today. Just keep in mind we've got dry air, we've got a lot of dry kindling basically lying around this time of year. Burning discouraged. Going from 36 this morning to 58 at noon, your high today 70 degrees. So that's where we still at least can recover to above average temperatures. Mid 60s this evening with that stray speck of rain here. In between in that first alert forecast where you live, you can see a few passing clouds, temperatures warming up to above average despite the cold morning. That'll get you to 70 today in Knoxville, 72 in Madisonville. First alert forecast where you live, 68 Crossville, got every county covered here for you. 67 Wartburg to 70 La Follette, 68 Barberville and Harlan. You're warming up to 69 in Sneedville and 70 Dandridge to 61 at the entrance to the national park. In case you want to go up top, keep in mind a little breezier always up in those mountains. For your Friday, we'll work on some passing clouds at first. I do think we'll have extra clouds in the morning, then some sunshine. And more clouds in the afternoon to evening. Again, very dry air, actually turning up the winds in the afternoon to go with this cloud cover. So we're still going to turn up the temperature, and that's going to be part of something you want to keep in mind for your Friday. The morning milder at 48 with those extra clouds stirring around. Already 70 at noon for your Friday. High 78. Look at that. Average high for Knoxville's time of year, 65. So that warming trend really jumping up. Friday, we'll keep it going. On Saturday, upper 70s, lots of clouds, so a warmer Saturday morning. My daughter has a soccer game Saturday morning. I'm appreciating that part. Notice these little stray specks of rain trying to pop up. But again, everything's pretty dry, so burning discouraged until at least we can get some better rain chances. But it does look scattered still for Sunday morning. So this is the outer bands of that cold front kicking out scattered storms early Sunday. This will back off to spotty by the afternoon. Still warm, still windy. Big picture, we're keeping an eye on that storm system to develop then. To the west, southwest especially is where I'm seeing that extra energy for a tornado possible. Some damaging winds. I think our gusts will actually be closer to 35 to 40 miles per hour. But we are keeping a close eye on that energy because that morning batch of scattered storms moves on, and then here's the main line. Sunday night into early Monday morning is when this is really trending to roll through our area. So of course I'll be tracking that for you first thing on Monday. Notice we'll then track a cool down behind it. So we warm into these upper 70s. We get knocked around back through the 60s behind those storms. At least it's a brief dip in temperatures. A few more storms headed our way later next week in your First Alert 8-day planner.